Today I am introducing this cult masterpiece of madness and obsession, The Substance. This piece won Best Screenplay and a nomination for Best Actress. It is truly a nyobai, extraordinary work. This is very rare in the horror movie track. This work breaks the framework of traditional horror films. Its underlying logic hits the core of human nature. It is also the director's blue warning to the vast number of otakus, shut-ins, which I will talk about at the end. Of course, there are 1,000 Pangillions in the hearts of 1,000 readers, so this commentary only represents my personal opinion. The protagonist, Red, was fired by the station leader on her birthday. She is like a shrimp whose body has been eaten and juices squeezed out by an ungrateful leader. Now she has become a discarded shell. On her way home, she saw her posters being taken down. What was torn apart was also her life. Once, Red was the most glamorous of all, shining brightly on the Walk of Fame. Everyone she met was a good person, and she accepted all the gifts fate offered without making any plans for the future. Beneath the skin of her waist was a withered soul. She even found song lyrics shallow and vulgar. As her youth faded, Red could only do aerobics on a TV show. Although it's not easy for a 50-year-old to maintain such a shape, most people still prefer the 18-year-old generation. Now her career has hit a cliff, and her blooming period has passed. The only lucky thing in her misfortune was that the car accident caused no serious harm. The doctor was also her fan and wished her a happy birthday, but this birthday only brought Red humiliation. The most tragic thing in this world is a hero in his twilight and a beauty growing old. After the doctor left, the assistant checked on Red and said her body was very suitable. Later, when she returned her clothes, she found a USB drive in her pocket. While wondering about it, she ran into an old classmate who greeted her warmly. Red, being at the lowest point of her life, was naturally very enthusiastic. When the classmate saw that the goddess who once stunned the entire era actually asked for his number, he got so excited he dropped it on the ground. He picked it up and told Red she must call him. But for Red, what fell into the mud wasn't just a piece of paper. After going home, Red opened the USB. It was an introduction to a drug that could replicate a more vigorous, younger split body from aging genes. They share one consciousness and alternate lives, each lasting 7 days. The two bodies are like the relationship between the left hand and the right hand, always a part of the consciousness and never independent. After watching, Red was deeply shocked and threw it away. No scammer would dare to lie like this. Even a skull couldn't hold such a huge brain hole. Wild imagination. But at night, she went to a bar and drank for a long time, and not a single person talked to her. I thought to myself, this is your fault. At your age, why go to a bar? Go to a dance hall or a public square. Soldier Boy is only a minority after all. But Red believed her disappearing looks still belonged to her. In the long river of time, her carved traces hadn't changed, and that beauty could surely be salvaged. She called the number on the USB to order, and the medicine arrived the next day. Inside was a full set of tools, stating that everyone can only activate it once. After splitting, the body must be changed every 7 days. But remember, there is only one you. Red decided to change her fate. After the injection, she screamed and collapsed. Then, as if something wanted to crawl out of her body, her pupils split into two. Then, a large slit opened on her back, and a younger body was reborn from the old shell like a 17-year-old cicada. Little Red, Sue, endured the discomfort to stitch Red's wound and then injected the nutrient solution that lasts 7 days. As a split body, Sue also had to inject the original spinal fluid. Afterward, Sue went to the station for an interview with a brand new look. The leader was still greasy, greedy, and despicable, but one who can become a leader is never a wineskin or rice bag, useless. He saw at a glance that Sue would be a hit. Sue said she had to go home to care for her mother and could only work every other week, and the leader agreed. Beauty is rarer than gold, and no rules can lower the value of gold. Sue began preparations, photo shoots, rehearsals. When the 7-day period ended, Sue took off her dragon robe, inserted the convection needle, and consciousness flowed back to the original body with the blood. After giving Sue the nutrients, Red gorged herself like a bear ending hibernation. She went back to the station to hand over her work, but the leader had already packed her things and gave a symbolic gift. As for why Red disappeared for a week or if she was in danger, he didn't even ask. Red got more supplies and lived through 7 days that felt like years. When Sue woke up again, she couldn't stand the aging at all and shoved Red into a storage bin. Out of sight, out of mind. No one wants to look at their own flaws all the time. But the noise bothered the neighbor. Sue said she was new, and the neighbor said she studied interior design and could help. Sue shut the door without a word. Her world was full of good people again. The biggest good person was the leader, saying Sue's show was so good she should be called Big Red. Success at work stimulated other areas. Sue drank some wine and prepared to have a deep exchange with a young guy, but suddenly her nose bled. Sue found the original body. Time was up. But she didn't want to stop. She thought, an occasional indulgence is no big deal. Just don't do it again. She extracted more spinal fluid to add velvet, extend her time. The young guy unzipped her, but her insides fell all over the floor. Red woke up startled. It was just a dream. But she had no memory of what happened after Sue added velvet. The room was a mess, and her hand had become as withered as a piece of dead wood. She called the provider. They said this was a sequela of forced extension. Red said Sue did it and she shouldn't bear the consequences. The provider said, "There is only you, it's all you." Although Red didn't think so, she was mesmerized by Sue on TV. While her own star was falling into desolation, her other self was burning and climbing the mountain peak. Seeing the neighbor knocking to ask Sue out, Red didn't even dare to breathe. Sue's success made her afraid others would know their relationship. She went out for supplies and ate at a restaurant. When she wanted to take off her glove, she remembered that finger. Even she found it disgusting at night. An old Shar-Pei man talked to her. Red said it wasn't long. The Shar-Pei said, 7 days is long, right? Red suddenly noticed the birthmark on his arm was the same as the assistant's. This old Shar-Pei was also an original body out for supplies. Terrified, Red almost hit the young guy outside. Red felt there were more bad people around her. At home, she hated that the young guy didn't recognize her. She called her old classmate for a date. She searched her closet to prepare for this anchor point battle of the original body. But after packing, she saw the split body. Even in the dark, she was so radiant. This is the power of youth, the beauty of life, and the ruthlessness of time. Red still couldn't walk out the door. She gave up everything of the original. When an aging body is paired with a withered soul, the rest of her life has only one goal, living to wait for death. Humanity's 3 great desires: affection, knowledge, and food. Red's appetite was infinitely magnified. When Sue was dancing, a large lump appeared on her butt. She checked in the dressing room and found the lump could move. She pushed it to her navel and pulled out a chicken leg. Luckily, this was just Sue's waking nightmare. But she found Red had been gorging on food. Furious, she called the provider. The provider emphasized again, "It's all you. The you who stays up late and the you who wakes up early. Different mindsets, but are they 2 people?" The leader said the show's ratings surged and decided Sue would host the New Year's Eve gala. Sue got even busier and extended her time day by day. When Red finally woke up, the withered aging had spread to half her body. She called the provider, who said she could end it any time. This made Red hesitate. Sue carried what she couldn't have, what she dreamed of. On one side was glamorous success, on the other, a rotting old dream. One side was the fear of being consumed, the other the excitement of the peak. This huge split made Red dazed. She knew it was an abyss but couldn't bring herself to end it. Now Red struggled even to stand. She opened the leader's gift. It was a cookbook. Red's remaining appetite was triggered. While cooking, she watched Sue's interview. The host asked about Red, and Sue said they were similar and she was influenced by Red, but Red was a thing of the last era. Hearing these heart-stabbing words, Red blocked the windows to avoid Sue's posters. She completely broke off from Sue. Sue woke up with the same feeling. No one wants to admit their own degradation. Sue extracted Red's spinal fluid for 3 months, 12 weeks. Until one day, she extracted murky pus instead of clear fluid. Red woke up. The bathroom noise startled the young guy. He couldn't imagine what existed behind that door. Red closed the door and chased him away with a raspy voice. Red, now like a withered corpse, finally decided to terminate everything. The body she once hated so much now became the beginning she missed. People always think the road not taken is full of flowers. The next day, she got the termination medicine. Before acting, she had a mental struggle. This injection would leave her a discarded person, like a rat dying in a sewer. But Red was almost at the end of her rope. She yelled and injected it, but halfway through, she started missing those beautiful things Sue had. Red threw the needle and started CPR on Sue. Seeing blood but no awakening, she used the convection needles. It didn't work. She stabbed Sue's chest. The split body and the original woke up simultaneously. The termination drug had killed the connection, and the convection needle sent part of the consciousness back. Sue was now completely independent. Seeing the drug, she knew Red wanted to kill her. She kicked Red away with a force of over 800 pounds, then brutally beat her, even kicking a hole in the original body like a bite out of a banana. Sue went to the gala, but the death of the original made her suffer. Her teeth and nails began to fall out. Her body was collapsing. Her ear fell off. At home, she injected the cell activator. Since she was a split body, the effect multiplied. The split succeeded, but the joke was something even Lin Zhengying, Ghost Hunter, wouldn't dare watch. The 3-red fusion was like a monster with multiple faces and heads. It was disgusting. But the dream was only one: host the gala. She put on a dress, jewelry, and permed her hair. She stuck Red's photo on her face. She made it to the stage. As the lights brightened, the audience didn't understand what this thing was. Her organs were twisted, and she couldn't speak clearly. The mask fell off. Sue panicked and spat out one of her organs. The audience screamed, "Monster," and fled. A brave man smashed her with a club. Her unstable cells were stimulated again, and another head grew from the wound. Then she sprayed blood. No exaggeration, it could have put out a fire. It sprayed for over 2 minutes. Finally, she rushed out of the building and exploded. Red's face on her back survived and crawled to the Walk of Fame, then turned into a puddle of filth. This case reminded me of the plastic surgery industry, grotesque and bold. On the surface, it's a story of Red's fear of aging leading her astray. The battle between the two bodies is a struggle between restraint and indulgence. Behind the story is a deep warning to otakus, shut-ins. Everyone knows that handwork, self-gratification, without restraint hurts the spirit. Everyone wants a fixed cycle to nourish the body, like the 7-day cycle in the video. But ask yourself, how many truly do it? Sue is like those hidden websites or materials, representing beauty but also harm. Every time, you swear to control yourself, but you can't. Just like Red, consumed by Sue over and over. If this were white powder drugs, anyone would end up like Red, a monster when using, a wreck when not. Back to the movie, many close-up shots are called the male gaze to satirize the phenomenon. I suspect this is just a marketing gimmick since the director is female. I can't judge this. It's like a widow's dilemma. There's no right answer. Red's helplessness toward aging is common. Aging brings appearance anxiety to women and powerlessness to men. For men, a hero's twilight is the disappearing of a strong body and a fearless heart. Aging doesn't change because of gender. I find it a pity that Red didn't enrich her soul when she had resources. She couldn't accept becoming an ordinary stone. The gap between ability and dreams is the root of her pain. To escape this, one must recognize oneself and arm one's thoughts. The soul always dies before the body. Keep a learning heart. Wrinkles are traces of fighting life. Is that shameful? I used to envy second-generation rich kids. I still do, but I can calmly say my family farms and I have to go home to harvest corn. Reconcile with yourself. That is the real harvest. If you think what I said is okay, give me a triple like. Thanks for watching.
洗那小分儿，正面。